Hello everyone. This is Jen with Jen's Den Art, and I am an acrylic artist and lifelong professional teacher. I would like to welcome you to my page today and say hello when you get here. I am streaming on a few different platforms. Let me see. Okay, there it is. There we go. There we go. I have to press go live on Instagram, and I always forget to do that. Hello. Hi, Janet. Hello, Michael. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Yvonne and Anne. Hello, Cheryl and Debbie. Very familiar names here. If you are new and you have never watched me before, please say hello in the comments. We would love to welcome you. Hello, Pat and Anne and Miss Ellen. So glad y'all are here today. It's a beautiful day here in Louisiana. We have sunshine, a little breeze happening. The high is 88 today, and it's going to be a really nice day because I get to go see my grandson today, and it's been a while. So I'm excited. How's everybody doing? All right, so stay active with me today because I have a lot of good things to share with you. A couple of things that I'm going to talk about as we work today is I wanted to remind you, for those of you who have not joined or thinking about joining, I have started this different course that is not a subscription that I wanted to invite some of you to join with us. And it is called a 6x6 painting challenge. And it takes an entire year to get through the entire painting challenge. It's one new 6x6, like 6 inches. I'm going to show you right here, 6 inches by 6 inches painting every single week dropped into your hub, okay, your website, okay. We have 2 different versions of that 6x6 challenge happening. Version 1 started like 2 years ago, and it's done. I already have all of the 52 paintings. We had a blast. But what I did was I created that version 1 to be an evergreen version 1. So if you missed version 1 the first time, if you missed any of those launches, it's still available on evergreen. What that means is the day you sign up, week 1 gets dropped into your account. And then every 7 days after that, you're going to continue to get week 2, week 3, week 4. So it's an ongoing, it's evergreen. It runs on its own, basically. Okay. So we have a Facebook group where we have all of our members for the 6x6 challenges in there. And I'm just going through some of these are version 1 paintings. Version 2 is not open right now. It is not ready for new members. We just launched for the first time. Version 2 is a brand new one. And these are some of the paintings from version 1. Okay, version 1 has been a lot of fun. We have probably over 200 people who have gone through version 1. These are in little cellophane wrappers. These are my originals that I put in cellophane wrappers. And every week it's a pre-recorded video, and it's about 30 to 45 minutes. And every week we paint a different painting. None of them are seasonal because it's an evergreen. None of them can be seasonal because you may be starting in the summer, you may be starting in the winter. It just depends on when you start. You're gonna get one of the paintings. So these are super fun. What can you do with these? You can do whatever you want with these. I show you in version 2, I show you how to frame them. And I'm just gonna skip on through all of these really fast because I want to get started with the painting today. Oh, this is not one. That's one from something else. This is one. And this version 1 is $50 off right now. Okay, it is $50 off. So if you have not done version 1 until the end of the month, it's still going to be $50 off, and you can join anytime you want. And like I said, that whenever you join, that's when week 1 starts. It's a one-time payment. That's it. It's no subscription. It's a one-time payment, and you get access to me every week for 1 entire year. Okay, so look how cute all of these little paintings are. They're just adorable. We do lots of just outdoorsy nature things. We do all kind of cute stuff. So anyway, there's more because there's 52 of them, of course. And then we had some bonuses, so there's actually 54. So I just wanted to remind you about that if you were interested in doing anything with us at this time, because all of my memberships are closed right now. My VIP membership is closed until probably a couple of months, probably late summer. I haven't decided yet because I just have a lot going on this summer. And the mini den is closed right now because we are inside the mini den for the month. And then on the 20th of every month, we open the mini den for new members to come in for the new painting. So you'll be seeing more about that as we go. All right. So let's talk about what we're going to do today. I had one of my sweet members. I wrote a little message earlier today on my Facebook page just about how I'm really thankful for everything that God has given me. And I was sitting down, drinking my coffee, watching the deer outside. And it was just a really pleasant morning for me. And I shared my heart a little bit, which is really difficult for me. It's really hard. My husband is a mental health counselor, and he tries to help me all the time. It's really difficult for me to express my feelings and share my heart with people. So anyway, I was just very thankful this morning for everything that I have and thankful for all of you. And so I shared my heart a little bit today, and I said, I'm going live today at 1. And at this moment, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing live at 1. I'm usually just like, okay, let's just do this. I don't know. I make something up like about an hour before I go live for these impromptu lives. Anyway, so one of our sweet members, Miss Susan, said, you did a painting a while back, and it was not a tutorial. It was just a painting that I painted. I'm going to show it to you really quick. Well, I think I'm going to show it to you. Here it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay. It is a crawfish, because I live in Louisiana, and it is a crawfish painting. And like I said, I did not make a tutorial for it. I just painted it because it was crawfish season, and I just wanted to paint something fun for me. I don't have the original anymore, so I can't show it to you because I actually sold it already. And Susan was like, I would really like to know how you made that background look like newspaper. Like it looks real. It looks like newspaper. Well, a lot of people will use mixed media to create those kinds of backgrounds. I do not use mixed media. I love to create it with acrylic paints. That's all it is acrylic paint. There's nothing else on there but acrylic paint. Maybe there is some gesso. You can kind of see a little bit of texture. There's some gesso, maybe a little bit of a thicker acrylic paint on it. But what we're going to do today is we are going to make a fake newspaper with acrylic paints because Susan wanted to learn how to do that. Okay, so I am going to show you my screen here, and I'm going to put that photo, if I can figure out how to do that. There we go. I'm going to put that photo on the top right, and I have a piece of acrylic paper right here. You know what I want to do? I want to cut this a little bit smaller, or maybe I could just tape it. Let me just tape it. I'm going to take some tape. And I'm going to tape, I think I'll do like about this big. I just don't want it, I don't want to make it too big because it's going to take too long. So I want to make it like maybe half of the sheet. So I'm going to tape it down on this piece of cardboard. I'm just going to tape it all the way around so it has a nice edge to it. So this side we're not even going to use. I'm going to cut that off later. Okay, let me get back to the comments so I can see what y'all are saying. Miss Karen, if I had about 8 hours, I would be able to paint the whole picture. That one took me a long time. That was not just a little quick 1 hour painting. All right, so, but one day in my membership, I am going to do something like that for the membership. Okay, so I'm just going to use this side right here, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did. I'm going to take some paints. I'm going to put some white. Okay, I like to use a lot of white, so I'm going to put a bunch of white. I am going to put some ultramarine blue. Very little. You don't need a lot at all. I am going to put a little bit of quinacridone red, or just a red, just any kind of red, just very, very little. A little bit of cadmium yellow, light. Get my colors on there. Well, this is warm gray. I'm going to use very, very little. I'm almost out of this. This is just a kind of like a neutral grayish brownish color. I don't need a lot of that at all. Well, that's a lot more than I wanted to put on my palette. And then my black that I lost my cover to. I'm going to get some of that black out there. Okay. So I grabbed a large angle brush. You can use any kind of brush you want. Okay. And so I'm going to make the same exact design. And you know what? I need burnt umber. I do not have burnt umber because I'm going to make that table too. Oops. Keep on dropping. I'm so bad about my covers. Are y'all like that too? These darn covers. I wish they had a different way to put all these paints together, but I like the tube paints, so we're going to keep on using them. All right, so I'm going to take, I know I don't have anything on here right now, so I'm going to take my white and my warm gray, and I'm just going to put kind of like a background color really fast before I start to kind of make it look dirty. I know it's kind of thinking kind of weird, but I don't want to start with a solid white background because we're creating a white newspaper background. So I'm just trying to get just a little bit of color on here to start me off. All right, so there's that. Okay, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see a little bit closer. Bring this in like that. Okay, and then I'm going to clean that off. And the newspaper is actually, it's white, but it's got a little touch of blue in it. I know it's really hard to see, but it actually does. So I'm going to take my white and a little bit of titanium white, ultramarine blue, and a little bit of black. And when I say a little bit of those colors, I mean a little bit of those colors. Okay, and I'm going to make a bunch of it. And let's just pretend that there is some object right here in the middle. All right. And I'm going to start putting down this color. You see that color? It's really Really, really beautiful color. Let me make this a little, there we go. It's like a bluish, whitish, grayish color. Okay, so this is going to be the area where my newspaper is. I just basically filled in everything there. Okay. And then I'm going to take the same paintbrush and I'm going to kind of outline everything just so I can have a better idea of what's going on. This is going to be where my table is. My table is going to be down here. I'm giving myself some points to reference. This is the table. This is underneath the newspaper. Here's a part of the table up here. And there's a little part of the table right here. Right? Now we're going to make this more, you're going to be able to tell that it is three-dimensional or two-dimensional as we go. Just right now, this is just the base layer of all of that. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more of that warm gray right there. Just a little bit of lighter color. All right, I'm going to clean that off. Okay, and this is where we get to start having some fun. So I'm going to take I'm going to just draw out, let's say it's let's do the piece of corn. I'll just do that. I'm just going to draw out the piece of corn just to give me some leverage here to work with so that you can see the dimension that we're going to create. Okay, so this is just a big piece of corn. Pretend it's a big piece of corn. Okay. And then we're going to work around that piece of corn. All right, I'm going to take another flat brush. This one's got more of a flat end to it. I'm going to dip it in the water and I'm going to go back into that gray and white with a lot of water. Okay, and I'm basically, that's not quite bright enough. I'm going to bring in some more blue and some more black. A lot of water. A lot of water. And I'm basically going to start coming in here with some of these grays. And I need my my towel. I think it fell. Of course, I don't see my. Oh yes, it did fall down here on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to take my towel, and I'm just going to start kind of tapping away at it. Lots and lots of water. Don't be shy. Oops, you see I got some brown and all of that. That's okay. Now I got some red in it. I'm not sure where the red came from. Oh, I see where it came from. I got it all over my towel. Let me fix that. I just made a big boo-boo. My towel went straight into my paint right here. So my towel has all of the different color paints on it. So I'm going to get another one. And I'm going to clean this off. And I'm going to go back over all of this. So you can see the design on the newspaper, how it's kind of folded. this way. And then there's some writing right up here, kind of like the columns of a newspaper. All I did was I took a picture of a newspaper that was folded up underneath a photo of some crawfish, and I made it into a painting. So I'm just going to take all of these different shades of this gray. I'm going to bring it in here. Let's do some more columns right here. And then a couple of them right here as well. Okay. And then right in here, I've got some newspaper on top of newspaper. So I'm going to make that come all the way right here. And then right here, I have newspaper on top of newspaper. So I'm going to make that line right there. All right, and remember, this is just a big piece of corn in the middle. We're not really concerned about what it is. Can make it a big piece of corn. All right, I'm going to clean that off. And then the reason why I wanted some kind of object right here is because I want to have a little bit of dimension, a little bit more dimension in my newspaper. And so I'm going to take some black and white, and I'm going to make it almost like a dry brush with black and white, which is basically just like a dark gray. And I'm going to add a little bit of dimension here and then on the side. And then right now it looks like nothing. It looks like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? It's horrible. But you have to take your time with this, and you have to just work through it to get it like you want it. So right now I'm just making a little bit of a dimension on my newspaper right there at those creases. And then right underneath, while I'm on that, right underneath this, I'm going to make this newspaper kind of have a little bit of dimension as well. Like it's kind of folded up. And then right here, just a little bit. Okay, so now it's starting to look a little more 3D. And then we're going to really focus on our newspaper. We're going to decorate it, basically. Okay, so I'm going to clean that off. I'm done with this larger paintbrush. I'm going to come in with different shades of really, really watered down color. Okay, one of the shades that I'm going to do is like the juice from a crawfish boil. You have kind of like that orangey juice. Okay, and so I'm going to make some orange, but I'm going to add a bunch of white in it. You can see that color in the newspaper actually. And I'm going to add a bunch of water. And it's kind of like almost like a coral, pinkish, yellowish color. I don't want it to be too bright. I want it to be really, really light. I'm going to add a bunch of water. And I'm just using a filbert brush to do this. You can use any brush you want. Okay, and I'm going to take most of the paint off of my paintbrush. But I'm going to come in and just kind of dry brush that color in a couple of areas. And I'm going to go a little bit more red. A little bit more red is going to make it a little bit more orange. How many of y'all have eaten crawfish before and been to a crawfish boil? I would love to know. So this is kind of like the juices that have dripped which this pink right here works really well. This is like the juices that have dripped down onto the paper in different areas. And we make it look all old and nasty. And then I'm going to grab a liner brush, something tiny like this. Okay. Phyllis says, not me. Never had crawfish. What does it taste like? Yes, it tastes like lobster, but it's stronger. It's stronger. Lobster is very, and this is why, okay? In the South, by the time the water comes down from up north and gets to us, our water is very muddy. And so our seafood down here tastes a lot stronger than the seafood up north. I've had oysters up north and I've had oysters down south, and there is a much stronger taste, a good taste. But they're a lot, like lobster is a lot more bland. It does not have a lot of taste. And, that wild seafood taste. And so that's the biggest difference that I see. Because up north, you've got the clear, white, snowy water. And by the time all of that water gets down here, all of the fresh water, I mean, there's fresh water everywhere. That's not really the word I'm looking for. But it just makes our seafood taste a lot stronger. Because we literally have chocolate milk water in a lot of our waterways, and it's just a much stronger all of your game tastes a lot stronger. Okay. Y'all have colder water too. That's exactly right. Yes. Yep. Okay, so this is what I'm going to start doing now. I'm going to start just kind of making some pretend wording. And what I used, see how I'm just kind of making some little lines? What I used was blue, ultramarine blue, and black and white. And I'm just going to make some little squiggly lines and make it look like there's words. And then maybe there's a photo or something. Like you can see like a square, maybe something else written in it. I'm going to go with a little bit more black. And then I'm going to take another paintbrush, just like a flat brush, like anything you want. And I'm going to make a really, 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 really watered down version of kind of like a brownish color. And I'm just going to make that a little more rustic. And then all of this, I'm going to skip around. All of this is just going to be different, maybe some headlines. Maybe you want to actually make it say something like in your, in your neighborhood or something. You might want to actually put real words in it, but I thought it was better just to do very random. So when you look in a newspaper, some of the columns have dark lines on each side of the column. And then there's like little boxes. I know not everybody looks at newspapers anymore. But that's basically it. And I'm going to make this a little bit darker. And then over here, because of the way it's shaped, I wanted my columns to go this way. I've gotten a lot of comments about this newspaper here. More about the newspaper than I did about the actual crawfish in the center. So I thought that was really interesting. And look, there you go. You can already see it coming to life. And then let's go ahead. Let me take a smaller paintbrush. We're going to add a little bit more of the white in there. I'm just going to take just some regular white, and I'm just going to add a little bit more texture in the painting in some areas. I'm just going to come back, just kind of give it a little more dimension with a little bit of white on a paintbrush, any kind of paintbrush you want. Just kind of make it have like maybe some crinkly looks to it if you want. Just kind of using the side of the paintbrush, not the top of it, and just kind of pushing some of that around. Because the actual newspaper part I did last after I did the crawfish on the painting, and the newspaper part doesn't take long, but the actual crawfish, that takes a long time to paint because there's a lot of little details in there. But that, I mean, I guess you could call it a new technique, because it's a technique to paint newspaper, how to make something look like old newspaper. So I guess, yeah, you can call it a new technique for our Wednesday technique. And you can have a lot of fun with this. So you know that newspaper is not solid white. If ever you've taken a newspaper, you kind of have like it's kind of like a grayish color. And so that's what I was trying to get here when I was doing this. And if you take your tape off, let's go ahead and get this tape off. You can see the final product. And there you go. You have your, well, I didn't put anything on this one. I forgot to do that. Let me do that real quick. And then it'll make it look even better. I'm having trouble talking today. So I'm going to add a little bit of newspaper jargon down here. There we go. And then a little bit more of the white and gray. Right on the edge, if you wanted to add some more in here, just to soften the edges. And y'all, that's it. It's a lot easier, I think, than a lot of y'all expected it to be because I one of my favorite things to do is to create using acrylic paint to create something that looks like something else. Like something else that I love to do is make old barn walls. It's one of my favorite things to do, and also to make old to paint it to look like an old window frame. I love doing stuff like that. And most people think it's not what it actually is, and it's like, no, it's just paint. That's all it is. It's just acrylic paint, nothing else. And there is our newspaper for the day. See how cute that is? So you can make that newspaper, and then you can put your crawfish in the middle, or you can put your oyster in the middle, or whatever it is, that you are putting on, like a still life. It could even be an apple or a pear or anything like that. And then you've got this super cute background that looks like newspaper behind it. So I hope y'all enjoy that. And we will see you next time for New Technique Wednesday. And yes, you are welcome, Amy. You're welcome, Tracy. I am so glad that I have the opportunity to show y'all some cute little tricks these days. And I will be back next Wednesday with another new technique. Bye, y'all. Have a great day.